Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas in July. I wanted to come on here today and show you how I make these cute little Christmas tree tags. We've each got one little Christmas tree right in the center, and some of them are left blank, but then other ones have to from on the back. So I just think these are darling, and I thought it might be fun to show you how I make these. I'm really having to go ahead and work on a lot of Christmas crafts, paper crafts for my Etsy shop, because if I don't start now, I will not be prepared once November, December rolls around. So this is where I've been at, and I thought it might be fun to turn the camera on and show you how I make these. So let me move these out of the way. I start off with this Kraft paper, and this is just the Recollections brand from Michaels, and it's a 65-pound weight. So I cut this down into little tags, and each one of these tags measures, let's see here, about 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And I cut these on my Cricut machine, but to make it go a lot quicker. But of course you can just cut these down 1.5 inches by 3, and then use your scissors and trim off each edge and punch a hole. So if you don't have a tag cutter outer, you can just do that. So we're going to start out with these, and I like that these have like a little antique look around the edges of them. Kind of gives them a country look, right? So I'm going to do that by bringing in my ink, and this is the Distress ink by Tim Holtz. It's in the walnut stain, and then I've just got an old sponge that I use to go around the edge of these. So I'll do that real quick here. Show you on one. I just think this kind of softens up the edges of them. Distress ink makes everything cuter, right? Okay, so we've got that done. I get that out of the way. And there's that. And I've got a little pile of these done here. So the next thing I want on these tags here, I'll pull a couple off to the side here so you can kind of see this as we build them. So next we're going to want our little triangle in the middle. And all I did with these was just take a little scrap of, let me get that out of the way. I just took a little scrap of my cardstock that was left over, and then I just made a triangle shape out of it that would fit good in the size of this. So when I got that done and cut out of my Kraft paper, I'll pull a few patterns out here. And these are some plaid and then some snowmen. I try to keep it in, I just make it in a Christmas theme. Okay, so I'm going to start out by putting this on the back, and I'm going to use my pattern and go around the edge here. And it's as simple as that, and I'll just go through and cut a bunch of these out. I'll put these all in a row, and then just go through and cut a bunch out at once. So for this, we'll just cut this one. And this is a great way to use up little scraps. That's all the size bigger that you would need for that. So it uses up your scraps of Christmas paper. Just do a couple here. And we've got our little base for our tree. Move this one out of the way. And I've got some other trees here already cut out, ready to go. So I think those are really cute. So what we're going to need next then is going to be our little tree trunk. And for that, I've cut out a 1-inch strip of paper. And to make these go really quick, I'll go ahead and cut up a whole strip at once. So I just go over just a little bit, not a whole lot, and I'll cut out a whole bunch of these at one time. So we won't do all that for now, but we've got a little pile of those. And so next we're going to need our little star for the top. So I've just got a little star punch here that I use for this. And white paper. Just pop that in there, push it down, and we've got a little star. But on these stars, if you'll notice, let me pull it up closer here, I've got a little inked edges. So it kind of gives it a softer look. So for that, I'm going to bring in, this is the Tim Holtz Distress Ink and the tea dye. And I've got a matching sponge for that. I like to use old sponges. And I'm just going to go around the edges of each one of these stars. And we'll soften that up just a wee bit. And so just like that, we've got 3 pieces here that we can build on our tag. This comes together so quick and easy. So I'm going to grab a piece of glue paper here, and I've got just a little glue stick today. I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom of my stem and build this little guy up. It's just hard to believe that it's already July. Half of the year is gone, and I'm thinking about Christmas and working on Christmas, which is, oops, don't have that quite centered all the way. There we go. Which is so crazy because it's like, I don't know, 93 degrees outside today. I'm in Missouri, and it is just steamy, steamy hot. But that's okay. This will make me think cooler days are ahead. And we'll just layer our tree base on there. And then for this star at the top, you'll see how it pops up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyhow, it's up above the paper. It's up above the paper just a little bit. So in order to achieve that, I've got some foam tape here that's double-sided, and I'm just going to cut a little notch out. I only need about half of it for this. We'll put it at the top, peel off that top part, and then we'll stick our star on. And it is as simple as that. I have got a little piece of cotton string here, and this is about 10.5 inches or so. I'm going to fold it in half, put it through the top, pull it through, and then we've got our tag done. Now, like I said earlier, on some of these I like to put to from on the back. So if I want to put to from, this one can just be plain on the back, but if I want to put to from on the back of these, then I want to do it before I put the star on. So I've got a few here, I'll hold these over, that are at that stage of needing to be to from on the back. So what I'm going to use for that is the Recollections. It's just the black ink. Sorry if there's a reflection. There we go. It's just the black ink. And then I've got this to from stamp. It says it's from Anita's, but of course this is pretty old. But you can just find a little to from stamp that's going to fit. I just flip it over. Yep. And then I kind of go up here in the top, stamp to from on all these. And then, of course, next I would put the little stars on the top. So that is that on these Kraft brown ones. I also make these in a white. So same kind of thing, except for I'll start off with just a white tag. So I think they're just really pretty. And they look gorgeous on tags and bags, and just make a nice little place to put your to from on. And I think what I'm going to be doing this next week is a little Christmas series on my YouTube channel. So, okay, I think that's it for today, you all. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I'll put up some more pictures at the end of these tags. So I hope you all stay cool today and have an awesome day. Bye.